This is Hacking the Afterlife podcast with Jennifer Schaefer.
Jennifer!
Hi, Richard.
How are you?
I am doing fabulous. I had a fabulous lunch, thank you. So happy you're here.
You did? Who'd you have lunch with?
Mr. Martini.
All right, very good.
At a fish bar. How great is that?
Well, here we are in the Hacking the Afterlife podcast. And in this episode, I am off camera.
Boo.
Yay.
Boo.
Thank God. All right, and Jennifer and I have been meeting together like this for 7 years. We were just laughing about the fact that 7 years ago I came into her office with this exact same camera. And, you know, we've gotten to a point where I have no agenda. She's going to show you in about 2 seconds how she hasn't written anything down other than Luana. And for those who are tuning in for the first time or the last time, our friend Luana Anders left the planet in 1996. And she, on the flip side, assists us in our endeavors, having chats with people over there. And so when somebody, and this happens to me sometimes, you know, I'm sitting in my kitchen and then I get a feeling like so-and-so is here, I will say to them, don't bug me, bug Luana. Because then I don't have to go through the thing of like, am I really hearing them? You know, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So, Lou, we've only got about a half hour today. There you are.
The new version of my clipboard.
So we love that. You saved a tree.
Saving trees. Lots of them.
So, Lou.
Okay, she just put you into my mind's eye, even though you're right in front of me, Richard. Okay. Hold on. She does want to talk to you about next week, so describe what's happening next week.
Oh, okay. Next week I'm doing this book talk. I'm doing a talk of the conference about the art of dying and living, or the art of living and dying. Deepak Chopra's involved, Robert Thurman's involved, Tibet House is sponsoring it, Minla, Dr. Eben Alexander, and I'm appearing Saturday night. I'm on before the ending, before Robert Thurman comes in. So I'm basically going to talk about our research, what we've been doing, how to stay in tune with the flip side.
And the other part, too, from what I was getting, where can they sign up for this?
If you go to richmartini.com, there's a link, and you just click on the link and it signs you up.
Okay. And the other thing is, will there be recordings? Can we watch a recording if we can?
I'm pretty sure you can. I think when you sign up, you can, of course, because they have a lot of people on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
Or maybe it's just Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But there's, I think, 20 or 30 people, scholars from all over the world talking about their research. And then your buddy Rich.
Yay! Yes.
So Lou, what do you think about that? What's your opinion?
Let me just make sure I'm getting this right. She wants me to have you talk to your counsel. So obviously that's nothing that's in my head.
Oh.
But she's saying she wants you to talk to your counsel.
I understand. And for those who might not understand that, in the research that I've been doing, it's in Architecture of the Afterlife, it turns out that everybody not only has a guide, but everyone has a counsel. And sometimes that could be 5 to 6 individuals, and that could be a dozen individuals. Generally, it's whoever shows up. So, you know, in the sessions I've been doing, guided meditations, I ask people to go and visit their counsel. All right, so Lou, you can help us. Let's just do this right now, because we can do it this way, as opposed to me going off somewhere into a room and meditating and saying, you know, I want to talk to my counsel.
No, she wants to show the process.
Okay, very good. So, Luana, would you walk Jennifer into my counsel and just tell us, are we inside or outside?
Okay. We are we're inside, but there's a lot of windows I'm seeing.
So you're seeing the outside world.
Yes.
Are we in space, or are we sort of in a garden kind of setting, or Earth's-like setting?
We're in like this huge, it almost feels like the library, but it's this huge like big stones, and it's over the ocean. It feels like it's very open and airy. So it's
Okay, I understand. It's a little bit like your office,
Okay.
which is when you look out the window, you see clouds and
Right.
sea and ocean. And are there any structural elements to this visual? Are there like pillars or...
okay, take me outside. Oh, interesting. I just saw my dad.
Hi, Jim.
It's just like it changes to whatever you want, to whatever it is. So I like walk through it. It was like going through like a thing that makes it different, like what is it called? Another dimension. So I'm just walking in,
Like shape-shifting in front of your eyes.
right?
But take a look at the floor that we're standing on, that you're standing on. This is you and Luana visiting my council. And does the floor look stone, marble,
It
wood?
has that star symbol, not the star symbol, but the one that's for the ships have usually.
Okay.
Or I wish I could do. It's this huge thing that it's they have it everywhere.
Like the North Star kind of a thing?
Kind of. It's
Yeah, go ahead, draw it and hold it up. And so each tile has that symbol in it, or is it one giant symbol of that?
It's usually like mosaic. It's one giant symbol of that.
So a
But
little
it's
bit closer to hold it in front of your face. Okay, I see. Okay, so very good. Like a multiple pointed star, like
Yeah.
6 points, something like that.
something like that.
Well,
I think it's like a navigation compass for boats. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's what it feels like, a nautical symbol.
Yeah, a nautical symbol.
Okay, and now
You're looking at it on the ground.
so Luana, let me be clear: is this my council? Is this Jennifer's council, or is this your council?
Your council.
My council. Okay, very good. That's what you wanted to show us. And so I have been into my council before. I recounted it in the book Flipside, but let's just go through this step by step. So, Luana, show Jennifer how many people are here, roughly. A number comes to mind.
There's 7.
7. All right, very good. And just for the audience listening in, you can have more, and they could be out doing something and busy, or they may not present themselves in the council because that might be stressful for you because you recognize them as someone, etc. So, Luana, if you don't mind, if you could go up to the first council. How are they arrayed, by the way? Are they in a straight line? Are they standing or
They're
sitting?
in different places in the air.
Different places. So let's go to the first person on the far left. Is that a male, a female, or a light?
Feels like a female to me.
All right. That's all right. Let's just go one step at a time. First, I have to ask her permission. Can we converse with you? She can nod or shrug or shake her head. She says yes. Okay, very good. And as we're conversing, just if you could present yourself a little more fully to Jennifer so she has an idea of what you look like. About how old is she?
Feels like the energy of the one with many arms.
Okay, it feels like the energy of the teacher that we met
Right.
through your
That's what it
dad,
looks
Jim.
like.
That's what it feels like. Well, let's ask her, what's a name or a letter that we can use to address you?
G.
G. All right, very good. Thank you. Thank you. And Miss G, let me ask you, are you familiar with my work? Obviously, of course you are. What am I saying?
This
I
is
always
your counsel. You're
this is my
flipping it on-
counsel.
you're-
I get
You're
it.
flipping it
That was
on me. You're the one that's supposed to see her.
No,
So
I know,
now
but
you
it-
go and I know it's habit, but
But
now
I'm just saying that's the normal question I'll ask. It's just
Right.
funny. Of course they are.
she just kind of went. But
Very good.
now now try to. I mean, tap into.
No, I understand. I want to, but I'm also showing the process. So,
Got it, yes.
So we've got this first counselor here. Now, let me ask her just some questions because I'm not familiar with. We haven't conversed before. I'm saying in my mind's eye in the 6 hypnotherapy sessions, but we are now. So, Miss G, what do you represent in my counsel? What's a word or a term that you represent?
I almost felt. It's so funny. I almost felt. Oh, that's interesting. Her say that she's your filter.
Filter. That's fine. That's fine. Well,
I know.
you know what I say. Try not to judge it. Filter's a good word. And do you represent that on this council? How many other councils do you work on, Miss G, besides me?
A lot of them.
A lot of
It's
them.
like on every-
Over 100?
I almost feel like everyone's to a certain degree, which is
So
very-
quite a few.
which is
All
very
right.
challenging.
And when you say the word filter, is that something? What do you mean by filtering? Do you mean like sifting through or trying to focus on certain items specifically? Filtering through the chaff?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that might be.
So they just showed me like it's a she's showing me that it's not a conscious thing. It's like mine is wide open, yours is open, but you close it. Like she's showing me like there's certain people that just don't even have it.
Yeah, but I think
They
what
are not
she's
aware
saying.
they have it.
I think she's saying like focus. So you're filtering yourself through whatever the thing is you're trying to get to the truth of.
Right.
But that would be something you could assist someone in a lifetime or many lifetimes. And so let me ask you, Miss G, how am I doing?
Better than we ever could have anticipated.
Okay, very good. So
They just showed me all the different directions you could have gone.
Absolutely.
And so the road less traveled, the most difficult one, but you're using all of your different methods, like, okay, show me again. For instance, music, like your last book.
Yeah.
All your different stories. Everything comes into play because you're
Tapping into all those frequencies.
You're tapping into all those frequencies, and they're showing me tapping into all of your past lives.
Previous lifetimes, yeah.
And then, but what you're doing, show me again, hold on. You're elevating the process of life, how it continues, not death. So even though you're talking about life and death, you're elevating the process of living.
Beautifully said. Thank you, Miss G. If you could do us a huge favor, introduce us to the person to your left and Luana and Jennifer's right. Who would that be? Is that a male, a female, or a light?
Feels more like androgynous.
Androgynous? But like a person, can you see them as a being or more like a light?
I can see him more as a being, just it's something I don't know if it's an angel, like they're showing me like almost like an angel, like big wings.
Let's not judge that. So
9 feet tall.
What, 9 feet tall?
Yeah.
What color wings?
White.
White?
Just white.
And a name or a letter we can use to address this person.
Almost feels like a Lucas or a Lucas.
Don't judge it. Lucas. Are very good. Can we call you Luke?
Mhm.
Luca.
Luca.
Let me ask you, what do you represent on this council? What's a word or a concept?
Children.
Children. Okay. And do you mean over many lifetimes? Over this particular lifetime? Or are you talking about in general?
This particular lifetime.
This particular lifetime. And do you mean specifically children that are my children? Or do you mean children in general in terms of teaching younger people?
Your children.
My children. Okay, very good. How are we doing?
It says they're amazing individuals.
Ah, that's fascinating.
Amazing.
And so do you represent this on other councils or just mine?
Yes.
You do. And how many other councils? Just a rough idea to give it to Jennifer. A
Oh,
lot?
It's only, it feels like it's there. It's almost like a guardian angel, but it's only for you.
Okay, very good. I understand. Let me ask you, Lucas. Are those wings, are they etheric or are they energetic or are they like a metaphor for you traveling at the speed of thought?
Metaphor.
Metaphor. The idea of like if Jennifer or Luana could reach over and touch them, they might feel a substance, but they're really more of a metaphor. That's why you carry them.
Like a metaphor, yeah.
Okay, very good. And if I may, thank you so much. I appreciate you talking, and any member of my council is. If there's a spokesperson,
Kids are amazing.
Thank you so much. I'll let them know.
I know.
Of course, I can't let them
I was
know.
like looking for something wrong.
That's funny.
That's how you know it's not coming from me. You know what I mean? I'm not something wrong, but
No, I know what you mean. Of course, you look for like the picture,
Yeah.
portrait. So allow me, Lou, who in this council that I need to speak to today? Either the spokesperson for the council or go ahead. Does the spokesperson want to come forward? Is that a male, a female, or a light?
it feels like you're higher, like your energy.
Myself.
Yeah.
On my own council. I like that. Excellent. Of course, I would be guiding myself. So let's just allow it. So let's
Okay.
just allow my focus, my thing, my whatever. And when you look at that, do I look like me? Does it look like me? That's the question.
Your essence. It looks like a bunch of different versions of you at once. I can't
Oh,
explain it.
fascinating. Okay. And so and are you the spokesperson for this council or are you a member?
I feel like an observer.
Okay. So not so much a member as, okay, so because we're not in a line here, right? We're talking to different people in different parts of the room. So is this my higher self that we're addressing? So that's a fascinating concept because, of course, because we all have a higher self and we bring a certain
Right.
portion of... So let me ask you, higher self, have I been accurate when I tell people we bring a certain portion of our conscious energy and the rest stays home? Or do you want to clarify that?
You have been accurate.
Okay, very good. Doesn't mean I will be in the future.
It changes all the time.
The amount of
Yeah.
conscious energy.
Just like the when we were talking to somebody that was
It had
Yeah.
Alzheimer's, and he said he only had 10%. Very good. Thank you. That's the question that people have. So it changes all the time. Does it change based on need? Do I bring more conscious energy if I'm in need of it? Or is it because I'm using it somewhere else?
He showed me how you're one with it. Because I asked the same question in my head. I'm like, what about myself? And I felt myself being anchored here. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound right. But then I was being shown that my higher self, we bring more of that here. That's what we keep doing. So we're more in not bring more of it here. We're more in contact with the other side because of what we do for work. And so we're tethering back and forth all the time.
So it's almost like a conversation that's going on. Of course, I feel it more often when I'm sleeping because I'm having conversations.
Right.
So let's ask him. Let's ask me. It's a very unusual construct, but we have to allow it. So I'm asking myself, I kind of get a sense I'm doing this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
But the question is, for people out there, what do I need to ask you that will help people tuning into our podcast today? Why did you allow us to come to the council today?
Because we wanted you to know that the council can change as well.
That the council can change as well. Do you mean the components of the council, the different members, different people come forward?
The objective stays the same, but the different components change because whatever you're going through, whatever,
I understand. I see.
Getting to another level, then you have a different set of.
Well, this is interesting because when I've done these sessions, when I did a session with Scott DeTamble, he asked me to go visit my council, and I counted 7, just like you said. There were 7 people there. I mean, it's a specific number, 7. And then Scott asked me to go to a previous, before a council member came forward. And no, there was one less.
Yeah.
And so then I was able to access the moment that new person came on, someone I had earned their
That's exactly
representation.
Okay.
So that idea of... So we gain new members of our council when we've earned that quality. So if you could, Richard, go over some of the qualities that people have in their councils, just generally. Like, I've heard wisdom, I've heard knowledge, courage.
Well, the first thing I got was finesse.
Finesse, okay.
Finesse, and then knowledge is I think the grounding one for it's all the knowledge because you do have a brain that's kind of crazy. That you remember everything.
I do, but knowledge I've qualified that which
in all different areas because I saw you as a priest, I saw you as or somebody that was a monk, and then somebody that was a different knowledge. It's almost like you've been everywhere.
Awareness of all, yes, because I've been thinking about this thing I'm going to talk about, and I've tried to go over the different lifetimes that I can access. And of course, knowledge comes from learning, from experience and learning. Wisdom is something deeper, and you sort of, it's there at all times. So Luana, is there anybody else in this council? Richard, I don't mean to put you off the seat here, but who else do we need to talk to today that needs to address this?
Luana wants to talk now.
Thank you, Lou. Go ahead.
She wanted to show how this process worked. But with you, how it is something that can really help. Not just because we did a shorter version of it, but
sure, and the idea that it helps people to access why they're on the planet.
So it's like she says. It's like riding a bike, because once you start doing it and you learn how to do it, you can easily get back to doing it. Versus you struggle. She's showing me softly. You struggle a little bit because we did it a little bit backwards, mind you.
Yeah.
Normally, he's the one telling me if I'm telling him about his counsel, I would be asking the questions versus Richard being asked the questions. That being said, she says it's important for people to know they couldn't be alone if they tried. They're never alone. And that every decision that pops into our head or that we make or that we think, that's funny, that we think that we make, just like me calling you, let's go to lunch. Can you come down here today? She's like, no, I put that in your head. We think we make those decisions, but that's not the case. All for this moment, which is interesting. You have so much, they said, Rich has so much information, but if you boil it down, you already know what the answer is. It comes to one thing, which is love. And then thank you. It goes back to people become more open when they love themselves too. Because if you don't, if you feel bad about yourself, or if you don't feel like things are right, or if you're doing something that you don't feel is morally right, or something, anything like that, you're not going to be open. It's challenging. You could be open, but it's challenging for you to be open, because to really benefit from your counsel, you can't have guilt. You can't have guilt. You can't have.
So, what would be a good method, Lou, for people to use love as a tool or as a vehicle?
Just know that they're always loved. There's nothing you could do that. I mean, there's people even in prison. She's just showing me there's nothing you can do to make it to where we don't love you.
There's nothing you can do to make it so we don't love you. And how do we access, and this is, I know she's got to go, so how do we access the counsel in a specific way? Through love. Let me ask you that.
You knock on the door, apparently.
It's our counsel.
Yeah.
Tapping.
So say that question one more time.
How do we use love to access our counsel? Get advice, let's say. That's what I'm looking for. To get advice from those who love us?
Just ask, what is it that we need? So ask, what is it that I need?
And open yourself up to the answer.
Open yourself up to the answer. And they were happy that I had coffee versus wine at lunch. But again, there's no guilt or drama. That was my own stuff. But they saw me with a little something warm, probably like tea. To have some tea.
You mean to sort of keep yourself in the pocket.
Yeah.
And keep yourself awake and aware, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, Lou, it's a short podcast today, but that's
the wisdom from it. So you would get little pictures of it, and then we should be asking, what do I need to do? Who do I need to see?
Right. Sometimes I think it's who do I need to help?
Whatever you want, you give away.
So that's key. Whatever you want, give that away. So if you want money, give away money. If you want love, give love away. If you want peace, give peace to others. If you want to lose stress, get rid of stress by letting go of it.
Yes. That's
very good.
She says to express, going along with your talk that you're going to give, she says to make sure to express that things change over time, things evolve over time, you evolve over time, or times, I should say. No one is ever stuck in their own paradigm. I know that sounds crazy, but with what she's showing...
No, it makes sense, especially if you think of it over many lifetimes.
Yeah. She's like, the quickest way to get over something is just get over it. I don't want to upset any therapist or anything like that. I'm not saying, get over yourself, more or less. Not get over, if you have...
Get outside of yourself so that you can look at yourself from another perspective.
Correct.
Very unusual today to have a conversation with myself and not be consciously aware of it, but at the same time, allow that it's possible, because I've been saying it for so long, that we leave a portion of our consciousness behind.
Your higher self's like, we're really funny, Rich.
Well, can I thank my higher self for orchestrating this? And Luana, thank you for asking this really unusual question. And Jennifer, thank you for inviting us in here. And Jim, of course, we would talk to Miss G and find out if she is. Does she know Ma Durga, the teacher that we met so she knows her?
I think it's
You think
her.
It's her? Wow.
The way that my dad walked me into the room.
Okay, very good.
It was so sweet because he was studying the universe and my daughter's studying physics and astronomy and loves it. And he put my daughter's essence in there too, which was really sweet.
Wow. And for those tuning in, this is a conversation that we had with an astrophysics teacher that Jim is taking a class. Jennifer's dad is taking with on the other side. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you, counsel. I should come and visit you. I'm sorry I haven't before, but this is the first time anyone has ever suggested it.
I know I did, and I wish I could take credit for it.
All right, thank you, Jennifer.
Happy Valentine's Week, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Week. We'll see you next week. Okay, bye.
This has been Hacking the Afterlife podcast with Jennifer Schaefer. For more information, JenniferSchaefer.com, MartiniZone.com, or RichMartini.com. Hacking the Afterlife documentary is available on Gaia.com via